That's right. The Pokes took home the bronze boot for the fourth year in a row. These seniors have never lost to CSU. It was a defensive battle as both offenses were held to under 300 yards. Defensively, the Cowboys were flying around everywhere, making plays all over the field. To cap off a stout performance by the Pokes defense, they held the Wolfpack to just 3 points, winning the turnover battle in dominant fashion. And back to you. I mean, bottom line, this guy's going to be playing on Sundays. He's already been invited to the Senior Bowl combines because he's a special player. And again, I watch for him on each time the ball's hiked, and he's right there, man. He's there making the play. This guy's special. Right. And for our next topic here in sports, due to the coronavirus, we have not been able to attend live sporting events. Well, Dana White and the UFC have been putting on major fight cards without fans in the stands. Now, the cloud coverage has come out in a little bit. It's kind of putting a damper on the races for this evening, but that is not going to stop these guys from taking the raceways and letting those engines rev. Sixers tried to rally late, but it, however, was not enough in order to get the win to advance to the Firecrackers' final at Powers Field. Cheyenne athletes showed dominance on the mound yesterday, achieving a milestone, leading his team to victory. Its second generation of racers make their debut on the racetrack this weekend, and here's an inside look to this family's speedway traditions. The 2020 Cheyenne Masters had 84 bowlers representing Colorado, Nebraska, and all of Wyoming is down to just 5 alley cat strikers to see who is the best and will get the automatic bid to the PBA Masters bowling tournament that's set to take place later this year. I was told by one of the PBA card holders here in attendance that bowling is a sport for people who have talent to spare. For Wyoming News Now, I'm Sean Boyd. After speaking with the Lady Thunderbirds, emotions are running high when dealing with the pressures of not being able to play their senior season. And here's what they had to say.
I didn't have a chance to go all out my senior season.
Next rushing touchdown from Sean Chambers might cost the Cowboys a little bit as Chambers gets in for the score, but he gets nicked up, and that would have him sidelined for the rest of the day. The Cowboys offense had 221 yards through the air on the day, Rocket Ishmael having a big day, taking the defender deep for the 37-yard house call from Chambers. And we learned from the referees, players can't celebrate too much with the high five to the fans. Well, the weather is heating up and you can smell it in the air. It's baseball season in Cheyenne. Cheyenne athletes showed dominance on the mound yesterday, achieving a milestone, leading his team to victory. Cheyenne Mustangs 9U baseball player Evan Huff pitched a no-hitter, that's right, folks, during a 10-0 win against the 23 club Westco Bluffs. He went 3 2/3 innings, striking out 7 batters, and Huff got some help from his teammates, scoring 5 runs in the second inning. And we here at Wyoming News Now want to give Evan Huff a congratulations for his achievement. Well, we missed the beginning of baseball for the Colorado Rockies. However, it's opening day for the Cheyenne Post Sixers varsity team. The umpire behind home plate yells play ball. The Sixers take the diamond at Powers Field for the first time in 2020. Last week, the stands were closed for fans. This week, family and baseball lovers watched the action up close and personal.
Between games, have to clear everybody out and sanitize the stands and the dugouts before we let fans back in. So it's been a bit of a trick, but the boys are just excited to play baseball.
Welcome to Weekend Sports. I'm Sean Boyd. The lead story this evening is the University of Wyoming Cowboys see one of their premier games of the 2020 season wiped away, and here's what we found out. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, the Pac-12 Conference announced it will play a conference-only schedule in football and other sports this fall. The decision comes after meetings and voting by Pac-12 athletic directors, university presidents, and conference officials. The decision to delay the start of fall sports season, including football, weighs heavily on the University of Wyoming Cowboys' 2020 season. College football, by and large, is a money machine for universities. This year, the Pokes were scheduled to play the University of Utah at War Memorial Stadium. That game has now been canceled due to the outbreak in certain states. With the uncertainty, you'll see major out-of-conference games being shelved for the 2020 season. Conference-only schedules will be announced no later than July 31st. And like many other conferences, the Mountain West Conference is starting to move to conference-only games as well. The Pokes are slated to kick off the season at home against Weber State September 5th. The Sparta Sports Entertainment Group brought a live sporting event to the city of Cheyenne. Live at the Saloon, it's Fight Night. Sparta Sports and Entertainment gives the capital city hand-to-hand combat up close and personal.
But this is unique because we've got all this pent-up time. We've all been locked down. We haven't seen a live event. And these fighters, it's incredible. They had over 240 people send in an application in the first 48 hours because they're hungry from all over the country to get in there and bang and do their sport.
During the pandemic, we saw the challenges associated with hosting sporting events indoors and outdoors. Wyoming MMA board made sure to color in between the lines.
It's a great door opener because we are going to reopen the economy and we're going to reopen our nation. And events like this show that there are safe ways to do it, that we can move forward and enjoy ourselves and yet provide safety to the spectators, fans, and officials. And
I mean, essentially, the ring is ready.
Yep.
Okay, the fighters are ready.
Yep.
What's your feelings about tonight's event?
Man, I'm just so excited and pumped. These guys are hungry. They've been in there. We got a former Wyoming wrestler on the card, Archie Colgan, who's undefeated, and he's fighting another top-ranked contender for the belt. You know, so it's gonna be fire. We're excited. We got boxing, kickboxing, MMA. We have the whole nine going tonight, all three.
We asked the man behind it all if he would bring the show back to town. All signs point to live combat coming back to Cheyenne.
We have a whole list of. We have hundreds of fighters that didn't get on this card, so it's gonna be. It's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out, you know?
Well, there you have it. The night of fights was action-packed from start to finish, and moreover, events like this prove that sporting events can take place in the state of Wyoming while following the commission's guidelines. For Bronco fans and for folks out there that love Josh Allen and fellow Pokes in the NFL, according to multiple reports, NFL training camps will open on July 28th. The early start would give players a chance to get back into football shape after an off-season of virtual work rather than OTAs and minicamps as normal. The new collective bargaining agreement says that teams can report 47 days before the first regular season game, which is July 28th for most teams. According to one report, there are concerns about the readiness of players after the normal off-season programs were lost to the coronavirus lockdown. To begin the process, only 20 players would be allowed in the facility at a time, until the NFL Players Association approves an infectious disease emergency response plan for NFL teams. With some rookies reporting to camp tomorrow, players took to social media today to criticize the league's plan to start amid the coronavirus pandemic. Russell Wilson, J.J. Watt, Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, and Myles Garrett among those to speak out. Preseason rankings in the Mountain West Division have now rolled out, and guess what, folks? The Wyoming Cowboys are ranked number 2 in the Mountain Division.
But the Cowboys have something for the first time under Craig Bohl that they have depth is what they have finally, and Craig Bohl has taken the time to build that.
The Wyoming Cowboys had a successful ending to their 2019 season with a big win over Georgia State in their bowl game. Now, with a couple of key departures to both the offensive and defensive side of the ball, the Wyoming faithful may wonder who's going to fill those shoes. Well, Cody Tucker from 7220.com says that these Cowboys are still in prime position to not only win the Mountain West Division, but make some noise in the rest of the country.
This is over there, but this defensive line could be the best in not only the Mountain West, it could be one of the best in the country, anchored by, a couple of really nice pass rushers on the outsides in Garrett Krall and Solomon Byrd. I don't see this defense taking any kind of major steps back, and when you have a good defensive line that can get after the quarterback and stop the run, that's only going to help a young, inexperienced secondary.
Last year, the Pokes finished 4-4 in the Mountain Division. They went a perfect 6-0 at Jonah Field at War Memorial Stadium. This year, the Cowboys can revenge their losses from 2019 as they host their biggest Mountain West games against Boise State, San Diego State, and Air Force. Now that the preseason rankings are out and the players to watch have been unveiled, well, the Wyoming Cowboys football team is putting together an offseason full of hard work and determination, according to their strength and conditioning coach. YO Vision gives us a look at how these players are going to work.
It was months of meetings. There was a lot of collaboration between strength staff, sports medicine, the doctors, and Coach Bohl.
The Pokes had to forego spring ball this year and went home for spring break with no imminence of a football season amid the virus. Players posted their workouts on social media, showing they are taking their training seriously.
The way we kind of took it was we're going to give them every opportunity and every chance to get better. You can look at this situation one of two ways with the quarantine. You can say, most guys, they don't have a lot of equipment. they're probably not going to do much. Or we can overload them with options and, you know, hope that they take a few of those options. And the guys came back in phenomenal shape, so something we did worked.
With the Cowboys returning to campus in good shape, according to the strength and conditioning coach, it will not be hard for them to translate to football shape when the season does start. For Wyoming News Now, I'm Sean Boyd.